Hello and welcome to Home with Sarah Jane. In today's video, I am sharing a book outlet haul. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 12 and 15. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So today I have a book outlet haul to share with you. It's not super large, but this is only my first book outlet order for the 2024-2025 homeschool year. And if I, kind of follow in the footsteps as the previous years, I usually place 2 to 3 orders during the summer from Book Outlet because sometimes they get new things, every so often. So I like to kind of split my orders up just because I don't like to pay for shipping or anything like that. So I do like to break them up into more manageable, hauls, I guess we can say. But majority of these books I'm going to be using for the 2024-2025 homeschool year. And just one more thing before we get started is that I did share a thrifted or used book haul just recently. I always check that local used bookstore before I place any order for Book Outlet or kidsbooks.com or Amazon, because you can find some real gems locally at a small used bookstore. So I did do that before I placed this order, but let's jump into it. So the first thing that I picked up is a book that I have had on my list. It's been on my mind for like 5 years, and that is The Lively Art of Writing: Words, Sentences, Style, and Technique, an essential guide to one of those most necessary skills. Now, this is a really old book, but it does have a lot of great information in here. Again, it goes over, choosing a subject, working with words, the sound of sentences, the power of paragraphs, essentials of style, essays, thesis, and term papers, and much, much more. So this is something that I'm going to be using with my oldest daughter. So you probably will be seeing this one again in my curriculum videos that are going to be coming up shortly. So again, this was like super inexpensive too on Book Outlet. I think it was like $2, $3. So that's not necessarily, expensive. So I'm glad I purchased this one. Okay, now the next one, I've had my eye on this kind of series for a while, and when I seen one on Book Outlet, I thought it would be the perfect time to, try one of these out. But this is a visual reference for everything you need to know, the infographic guide for entrepreneurs. Now, I had my eyes on the grammar version and the personal finance, and I think there was like an American government or something like that. So I do have my eye on a few of these, but this one I still thought was really good because my daughter does pretty much want to kind of start her own business or something like that. So I thought that this would be perfect for her to just, read whenever she gets a chance. And it actually looks really, really neat. This is definitely set up to get those, really great bite-sized pieces of information that are really useful without feeling overwhelming. So if you look inside this book, as you can see, it's very colorful. It's not just, filled with words, I guess you could say. There are some great visuals in here as well. And again, a lot of great information. So I was really happy to find this one on Book Outlet. Okay, so the next one that I picked up is called First They Killed My Father, A Daughter of Cambodia Remembers. Now, this one does sound really tragic and sad, but it is a recommended reader for one of my kids next year. So I did want to pick it up. And this one says, harrowing yet hopeful, her powerful story is an unforgettable account of a family shaken and shattered, yet miraculously sustained by courage and love in the face of unspeakable brutality. So again, this does sound like it is geared towards, older, maybe high school or so. But I am going to be using this with one of my girls. I can't remember which one, but it was, like I said, on that recommended reading list for one of our curriculum. So there's that one. Okay, next up is another recommended reader for my oldest daughter, and this is The Last Kingdom. So I'll probably read this one alongside Bella when she does this one for her history, but this is in the Middle Ages, in the middle years of the 9th century, the fierce Danes stormed onto British soil, hungry for spoils and conquest. Kingdom after kingdom fell to the ruthless invaders until but one realm remained, and suddenly the fate of all England and the course of history depended upon one man, one king. So this does sound interesting. I read a lot of different types of books, different genres, so this one does sound really interesting to me as well, and I do think that my daughter Bella will like this one. Okay, next up I actually purchased based off of somebody else's recommendation, but this is called Joe and Laurie. So if you like Little Women, the movie or the books or anything like that, which are, you know, classics, we love them so much here, this might be something that you'd be interested in. So this is after the publication of the first novel, Jo March is shocked to discover her book of scribbles has become a bestseller, and her publisher and fans demand a sequel. While pressured into coming up with a story, she goes to New York with her dear friend Laurie for a week of inspiration, museums, operas, and even a once-in-a-lifetime reading by Charles Dickens himself. So this is supposed to be like a reimagining of what could have been between Jo and Laurie, and I just thought that that was kind of like a really fascinating story and something that I would like to read. Whether I enjoy this or not, I still think that it would be worth the read because I like hearing about different, I guess you can call like scenarios or things like that when it comes to different endings to stories and stuff. And I had never heard of this one before a friend of mine actually recommended it, saying that if you love Little Women, you will probably love this version of Jo and Laurie. So I did pick this one up. I was really excited to see that it was at Book Outlet because I never heard of it before. So next up is another one of those recommended readers for one of my kids next year. I do not know how to say this. Is it Kampung? I'm not sure. I'm butchering it. Boy. Now, again, this is going along with the curriculum that we're going to be doing next year. I do not know much about this book. It does have pictures. It doesn't look like a ton of reading. All I know is that this is about a Muslim boy growing up in Malaysia in the 1950s. So I really can't give much information on this one, but it does still sound interesting. I'd never heard of it before I was going through the recommended reading list for this curriculum we're using next year. So this one I was happy to find. Okay, next up, this is one of those things that I just bought because I wanted it on my shelf. And this is, again, I will butcher this name. I can never say it right. Is it Bununcula? Bununcula? Whatever it is, you guys. We have actually read the books. There's like a series of books, but this is a graphic novel. So I thought that my kids would love to have this one on hand because this story was so much fun when we had read through this. I can't remember. I think it was a couple years ago now. We read these books, but this is, like I said, a graphic novel, and my kids love graphic novels and comics. So I thought this would just be a really great addition to my home library. Okay, next up, I bought a set. It's called Boxers and Saints. Again, so this is a 2-pack. One of the books, again, is Boxers. The other is Saints. And these are just like comics, I believe. So again, it goes with the curriculum for next year. And again, I super enjoy that they add in like comics and graphic novels to their reading list. I just think that that really helps out because there's so much reading that goes along with this curriculum, and my kids love graphic novels and comics. So this set, again, I purchased it at Book Outlet. I did compare the prices for the box set on Amazon and things like that, and it was much cheaper at Book Outlet. So that is why I decided to pick it up there. Almost done, guys. Now, this one is one of those ones that I just bought because I thought it would be fascinating, and I think my youngest daughter would really enjoy this one. And this is an Atlas of Lost Kingdoms. Discover mythical lands, lost cities, and vanished islands. This is definitely something that Lydia and I will sit down and read together and enjoy. To be honest, when this came in, she immediately gravitated to this book, and I had to go and collect it from her just so I could film this video. But she's already started on this one. This is, again, it is just because it sounds interesting that I purchased this one. And it is pretty colorful. It does have some great information in here. It's just, you know, we like kind of like that mystery of history type of, you know, stuff, I guess you could say. But this one looks really, really interesting. I'm excited to go through this. Again, it talks about things like Atlantis, El Dorado, you know, things like that. So super fun and interesting. Now, we're finally at the last book, and this one is Weird and Wonderful Nature, Tales of More Than 1,000 Unique Animals, Plants, and Phenomena. And this is a DK book. I love DK books. I have a lot of DK books, but this one is really bright and colorful with a lot of great information. Again, this is another one that I picked up for Lydia because this is definitely something that she would enjoy. It just has some really great images and pictures, and then just some information about these weird and wonderful, you know, things throughout nature. So again, Lydia will love this book. I haven't decided if I'm going to like throw this into like morning time or if I'm just gonna like let her read it as she wants to. I still don't know, but I will utilize this book in some way. So that is it for today. That is everything that I have picked up so far from Book Outlet. You will probably see another one of these videos before the beginning of the next homeschool year. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.